Hello, everyone. It's your boy Robbie Rotten here, and it's the end of 2022. Actually, it's 2023 as we record this, but 2022 is over. That is the point I am trying to make. So it is time to do my top 25 music releases of 2022 tier list. I did this last year for 2021, and I did a podcast with a good friend of mine for 2020. So I really enjoyed doing those. I like doing tier lists. It's been a year since I've done one, so I figured it was time to do another one. And what better time to do it than the end of the year, where I can rank everything I listened to this year and really enjoyed. The categories for this year are: at the top, we have all timers. In the second, there's amazing. In the middle, there's great. There is good below that. And this year, there is nothing below good. It's just honorable mentions. There's only a few of those. So there was nothing really, I thought, at least for the top 25, there was nothing below good, I thought. And I figured I'd put a few honorable mentions in there. So really, there's 28 on this list because I figured there were a couple that were just so close to making the full list that I just wanted to honor them in some way by at least giving them some kind of spot on here. Yeah, let's jump right in. Let's go ahead and we're going to do the honorable mentions first. The first one is Antihero by Taylor Swift. And obviously it's an honorable mention, but very solid song. The album itself, there was another song I really liked called Lavender Haze, but I thought this one was a little bit better. And it was close to making the list, but there were a couple last minute additions that bumped it off the list for sure. So, yeah, Taylor's always good for a bop here and there. Not one of my favorite artists, but she's got some good songs, so you can't complain. Next up, we have More Than Machines, the single. Not it's the name of the album they put. Oh, no, it's not the name of the album. I believe actually. I thought it was. It's not, right? I don't know. I don't think it's the name of the album. It's just the name of the single, More Than Machines, and it was a great song. This was kind of a later edition as well. A good friend of mine turned me on to this album, maybe in November or so, and there were a couple songs I really liked. This one a little bit less than another one that it did makes the full list, but it's still a really good song. I definitely suggest checking out their newest album if you're a fan of grunge or anything in that rock, that harder rock kind of style like that. So yeah. Finally, for their honorable mentions, we have Wake the Dead by Fit for Rivals. Another great song. Drummer Jordan is a good friend of mine and a former member of a band I was in. Awesome drummer, and the song itself is incredible. So, really proud of her, and I think this is really cool. It was on the list for the whole year, pretty much, but it just got bumped just at the last second. And I mean, look, it's still on here. I still thought these three songs were good enough just to make the list. I just couldn't put them ahead of anything else in good conscience. All right. Next, for our first actual entry on the list, we have Algorithm, the acoustic version by Boston Manor. Um, and this came out in like January, so it's been there the whole time. I'm gonna put it in amazing. I really, really loved this single, and I thought it was great. Um, it's not their only release of the year, but it's definitely, and it's actually, I think the other one's a little bit better, but it's great. It's amazing. Like, this thing was so good. It's better than the actual like electric version of the song, in my opinion. The electric version came out last year on the Carbon Mono EP, or Desperate Pleasures EP, Desperate Times. I don't know what is wrong. I don't even know the names. I don't know. That's how much of a fan I am. But no, seriously, it's great. I saw Boston Manor earlier this year, and they were incredible. So really enjoyed that. Next up, we have Blink 182 with their return with Tom DeLonge, Edging. I'm going to put it in great. I really enjoyed the song. I think it's like, it doesn't sound exactly like old school Blink with Tom, but it's a good sound. I really enjoy the modern sound for them. I'm not a huge fan of them with what's his name, Matt Skiba. It just doesn't sound like Blink to me, but it's not bad by any means. Just not it's not the same. But I really like this return to the original three guys. Not original because Travis Barker isn't the original drummer, but you know what I mean. Like the perfect lineup for Blink 182. This is it for me. So, unfortunately, I did not manage to scoop tickets for their tour before they went skyrocketing, so I'm not going to be seeing them this year. But that's okay. I've seen them a couple times in the past, and I always enjoyed it. So, I'm still very happy with the album. Very good album. Next up, we have Dark Bloom by We Came as Romans. That's going to slot right below Edging here. Great album. This is this the first full album since Kyle died? I don't know. I don't actually know if this is the first actual full length album since Kyle died. Didn't do my homework on it, but it's incredible. I love the sound here. Every song is really good. There's a couple that are, all timers to amazing. Like one of them was actually on the list last year, and that was Black Hole. I think that was in amazing, I believe, and that's still I think is the best song on the album. But it's a great, great album. Definitely go out of your way to listen to this. Return to form for We Came as Romans. Their last few singles I heard were really good too, but this is the best sound they've had in years, in my opinion. Next up, one of my absolute favorite albums of the year and one of my most anticipated releases was Dark Sun by Dayseeker, and it did not disappoint. That's going to go into all timers, our first entry of the list, and well deserved. All the singles are absolutely incredible. Rory Rodriguez is a monster vocalist, one of the best singers out there today, without a doubt. That man is insane. Their production is incredible. Everything about their songwriting is awesome. Definitely, if you haven't listened to Dayseeker, go out of your way to listen to Dayseeker. They're amazing, and this band is really going places. So I just caught them at the beginning of December. It was unbelievable. They blew me away. I saw them last year, but they were even better this time. So absolutely incredible. Next up, we have Datora, the full length, or actually it's an EP by Boston Manor. I'm going to put this right above Algorithm if it can go. Yes. Just a little bit better because it's actually an EP. Foxglove is a great song. I'd say like half of it is incredible. Like half of it's just good. The other half is great to even amazing. So I'm going to put it up there. Really like what Boston Manor is doing, and I'm excited to see what they continue to do in the future. It's a cool mix between like pop punk and like hard rock, so I really like what they're doing. Next up, we have Make Them Suffer with the single Doom Switch. I saw this band, I'm going to put them here in good. I saw this band also with Dayseeker at the beginning of December, and they were really cool. They have a cool sound. They're heavier than most of the other stuff on this list, but they also have a lot of good singing as well. So I really like their sound, and this song is a really good representation of what they do best, I think. So another late addition, but this is one of the ones that kind of pushed the other ones off for me. This and one other release were like the real last minute ones, but we'll get to that one later. Definitely well deserving of this spot here. All right, another entry into all timers. One of the bands I've been listening to the longest out of anybody. It's Papa Roach with Ego Trip. This is probably this might be the best album they've ever put out. I'm a huge fan of the album Infest, their first album, and I really like a lot of their discography along the way. But this album as a whole is awesome. It's so versatile. It just shows off exactly what Papa Roach does so well. I just love Jacoby's all over the place on this album, and I love it in the best way. Like it's incredible. Every song is great. There's not a single song on the album that I skip. So that to me is the hallmark of an all timer. Is I listen to every song and I'm like, oh wow, this is awesome. You know, like I'm gonna come back to this. And that's another album that came out early in the year, and it was always in my mind, always on my playlists, always coming back to it. So no brainer for me there. Next, we have a kind of a shocker for me. I kind of listened to this. I saw a video of, uh, was it Nita Strauss she's an Alice Cooper. She was a guitarist for Alice Cooper, and she also had her own, like, solo project where she played guitar, and it would just either be instrumentals or she would have, guest vocalists and stuff. And I knew of her because she played Shinsuke Nakamura out to the ring at WrestleMania. And I saw her, and then I saw that she had joined Demi Lovato for her new album, and I saw her on a performance of one of the songs off the new album on one of the late night shows. I don't know. I don't watch those shows, but I just saw it on social media. And I actually checked out the whole album, and it's awesome. Like, I never thought I would say that about a Demi Lovato album, but it's great. It's I'm on the borderline of where to put this even. It's going to be in these two middle ones. I don't know whether it's going to be amazing or great. This one's like right right on the border between the two for me. It's Holy Fvk, you know, Holy FVK, VCK, Holy Fvk, because I guess people don't know how to spell. Um, what an album though. I think I'm gonna put this in the bottom of amazing for now. I might adjust. I may adjust, but it's that good. Like, I'd say the only thing holding this down, as I've discussed in the past, is there's a lot of songs. There's like 15 or 16 songs. So inevitably, there's several songs that are not good. With that amount of music on an album, there's going to be a couple filler songs that I just don't like. And there are definitely a few. There's definitely a couple songs on this album that I just will not listen to, that I really don't like. But I would say at least 10 of the songs are like really, really good. So for me, it's going to be pretty high up there. Demi Lovato, great job. Next up, we have Ghost with their full length album, Impera. And this one's going here as well. All timer. This is probably the best album they've ever released. Um, I think they have better singles in the past from some of the other albums, but cohesively as an album, this has every song is good. Like, this is another one where I don't skip any songs, and this is their most complete album. Because, like I said, they've always had great songs, but not great albums. Like, Prequel was the closest thing to a great album. Other than that, they usually just have a couple of good songs on any album, and that's it. And that's fine. I appreciate that. Not every song or not every artist writes great albums all the time. It's hard. But I just appreciate when I have a few good songs to listen to. So when I have a full great album, I really appreciate that. I'm rambling, but that's okay. That's what I'm here to do. Next up, we have Seether. They released a song called Leech off the deluxe edition of their last album, which I'm not going to try to pronounce because it's in Latin and I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not even going to try. It's really cool. It's a good song. I like it a lot. I'm going to put it right here below Doom Switch. And I saw Seether for the first time this year or last year as well. And they were amazing. I love that band. If you would ask me maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I would be like, Seether's overrated. They have a couple good songs. I don't like them that much. I don't get the hype. But that has changed. Seether has definitely become one of my favorite bands. They're just so consistent. They're one of those bands that maybe they don't write great albums, but every album has at least 2 or 3 songs that are amazing, and that adds up. They've put out 8, 9, 10 albums or whatever, and they have 2 or 3 good songs an album. That's a lot of good songs. So I can appreciate that. I don't need them all to be on one album. Space them out. That's fine. I'm totally happy with that. I can go to one of their concerts and love every song because they have that many good songs. And they know what to play live. So, amazing. They're an amazing band. The song is good, but they're an amazing band. All right. We have another one that was one of the first albums that I listened to this year, and it is Love Sucks by Avril Lavigne. And this is her return to pop punk, the sound that she does best, in my opinion. And it's going to go right here, right above Demi Lovato. And Avril is awesome. What a great album. This one, almost every song is really good. There's a couple that are a little weaker, but I love it. There was a good preview of it last year with Bite Me, not Bite, Bite Me, which came out last year, which was on my list. And it was awesome. And that was a great representation because most of the album sounds like that. So, hell yeah, Avril. Keep doing what you do and keep killing it because you are. Next up, another really late edition. This one came out at the end of November, I believe. And I fell in love with it. It is Metallica with Lux Eterna. This is going right here. Not right there. It's going right here. What a song. This, in my opinion, this is the best that Metallica has sounded since probably the Black Album. And don't get me wrong. They have some great songs on Hardwired. There's some great songs on Death Magnetic. There's some good songs on Saint Anger. I'm not going to say great, but there's some good songs on Saint Anger. Hate on it what you will. There's some good songs on Saint Anger. There's some great songs on Load. There's some great songs on Reload. But in my opinion, James sounds amazing here. And the production's great. They sound awesome. And maybe people like when they're more raw and 80s and thrash sounding. But it's still heavy. There's still some rawness, but it's awesome. I'm going to see them for the first time this summer, and I cannot wait. I've been putting it off for 20 years, not seeing them, and I'm finally you know what? It's time. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be a great time, and I'm just excited. I'm just really excited to go see them finally. So it'll be fun. Lux Eterna. I can't wait for the album that's coming out. I think it's coming out in April. I don't remember what it's called, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's definitely one of my most anticipated releases of this year so far. So, yes, sir. Next up, we have Machine Gun Kelly featuring Bring Me the Horizon here with Maybe. It's going to go over here into great. Machine Gun Kelly, not my favorite artist, but he knows how to write a catchy song. And Bring Me the Horizon has just been a juggernaut the last, 10 years? They've just been amazing. And they're going to continue to be amazing. I saw them, a theme. I saw them this September. Yeah, September at the Barclays Center. Awesome. They put on one of the best shows I've ever seen. It was incredible. I love that band. They're one of my favorite bands. And they delivered here with the help of MGK. So, great job. It's like a pop punk type style. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. Next, we have A Day to Remember with the single Miracle. It's going to go here in good. I've kind of been A little bit outspoken about how I think A Day to Remember is a little overrated, which, doesn't mean I don't think they're a good band. I think they are a good band. I just think people hype them up a little too much. But this is one of the reasons why people hype them up so much, because they put out great music. And this song is really good. I really enjoyed it. It's exactly what they do best. It's heavy, there's some really good singing, and Jeremy sounds great. The whole band sounds great on this song. I'm assuming they're going to be releasing something this year and this was the single. That's my guess. And if so, I'm looking forward to it because this is a great first single. Really good stuff. Next up, we have North Lane with Obsidian. That's going to go into great. Uh, awesome album. This is another one that suffers from having too many songs, but it's awesome from what it aside from a couple songs that drag. It's really good. It's really great stuff. This band has really come out of nowhere and grown on me a lot in the last year or two as well, and I look forward to see what they do. I wanted to go see them this summer, but their tour unfortunately got canceled, or last summer. I keep thinking it's 2022 still, but their tour got canceled because of visa issues. Not the only band on this list that happened to, unfortunately, but it did happen, and it was very unfortunate. It made me sad, but what can you do? There's nothing you can do in that situation, but just wait for them to come back, and I'm sure they will. So it's okay. Next, we have Gray Days with the Phoenix. I'm gonna put it here, here. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it here. Gonna put it here. Move over, make them suffer. Come on. This is Chester Bennington with his first band, or first real band, called Gray Days, and it's all recordings from when he was basically like a teenager, to maybe 20, early 20s, just remixed and remastered, and they messed around with it and stuff. Their first album that came out in 2020 was better, in my opinion. Amends, definitely a much better album. But there's a couple songs on here that are absolutely amazing. Saturation and Drag are incredible songs. If there were more songs of that quality, this would be way higher up. But unfortunately, listen, I'm just happy to hear Chester Bennington singing again in 2022, 2023 now. Even, I'm never going to get another real new release from him. I'm never going to get to see him live again. But this is something at least. So I can live with it. I can live with it for now. And it's good. It's still good. There's still some really good stuff on there. It's cool. Next up, we have Red Handed Denial with their album I'd Rather Be Asleep. And this is going to go into great right here, right there. Every song on this album is really good. It's great. Every song is great. They put out their first single, I don't know whether it was the end of last year or the beginning of this year, and I didn't really listen to it that much. I don't know what, I just had a lot going on, and I just didn't really listen to it. And then, the next single came out, and I started listening to it, and I was like, oh, all right, I see that, I can see this. And then when the whole album came out, I listened to it nonstop, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. That band, they're great people. I got the opportunity to tour with them in 2016, and I had a blast. They were super cool, and I got to go up to their home country of Canada and hang out with them for about a week after that, and it was just a great experience. And they're a great band. Lauren's an incredible vocalist. Tyson's a great drummer. They're just incredible musicians, great people. And this album's amazing. So go out of your way to listen to this if you haven't heard their music or heard of them, because it's awesome. Next up, we have Spirit Box with the Rotoscope EP. This one's going to go right here. And it's well deserved. It is awesome. It's a 3-song EP, but every single song is great. It's amazing. I love it. I can't recommend it enough. They've definitely grown on me since last year when I first started listening to them with their Eternal Blue album, and they continue the good work here. Another band that I saw for the first time, they actually opened up for Ghost, that was a great show. Both bands put on a hell of a show. It's my first time seeing both, and I really, really enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend, and I'm definitely going to be seeing both again, I'm sure. Next up, another band that this is one of the bands that really came. I only started listening to this band maybe, or this album maybe a week or two, probably 2 weeks ago, and it came onto the list so quickly. Um, it's gonna go. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of great right here, bottom of great, and it is Motionless in White with Scoring the End of the World. Uh, what? Like, I've heard Motionless in White in the past. I've actually even seen them live, and they were solid. I didn't think anything of them. I didn't think they were bad, but I just never really got into them. And then I happened to hear I was out to dinner with my family, and we were in like kind of like a dive bar type place that had serves food by our house. We'd never been there before. We were trying it out, and the music they were playing there was great. And the one song Werewolf came on, and I was like, "Oh, who is this? This sounds kind of familiar. Sounds kind of like Breaking Benjamin or like Starset or something." And I was like, "Motionless in White, what?" And I listened to the rest of the album, and I was really impressed. I was like, "Oh my god, this is great!" And I've just been continuing to listen to the album, and I really enjoyed it. You know, I would say most of the album. I wouldn't say every single song is incredible, but most of the album's really good. So, very impressed. I think this is, like I said with Eternal Blue last year, that was the album that could grow and go further. I think this album is that one this year where it can continue to grow. If I did this list in 2 months, this would probably be pretty high up, I think. So, you know, wow, I was very, very impressed with Motionless in White here, and I'm going to be looking forward to their next releases, and I'm going to be going back in their discography and listening to other stuff, without a doubt. Okay, I referenced this earlier with Bush. This song is called "Slow Me." It says "Threat of Survival." I think that's the name of the album. I could not find any artwork that said "Slow Me" on it, so I just did that. What a song though. This is another one. It was between that and More Than Machines, but I just think that one was a little bit better in my opinion. And I I haven't heard from Bush in like 20 something years. At least not that I've listened to, you know. Maybe I got to go back and listen to more stuff though cuz this is great. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the stuff, and it surprised me. It's a lot heavier than I would expect from a band like that. They're more grungy, you know. But yeah, hell yeah. Next up, we have Poppy with her EP Stagger, and this is gonna go right about. I'm gonna go right here. Right. Come on, move, Blink, move. Tom doesn't want to move, but he's got to because this EP is a little bit better than Edging in my opinion, but he won't move. Come on, guys, your time has come. Well, anyway, as I'm trying to move this over, um, as has been pretty well documented by anyone that knows me or has watched my channel at any time recently, Poppy has become one of my absolute favorite artists in the last 2 3 years, and rightfully so. She has just continued to put out banger after banger after banger. Her last 3 4 releases have all been incredible, and this one is no different. It's a little, it's an EP, so it does limit it a little bit, but it's still awesome. Like, there you go. Let's do that. Um, I don't know why I didn't just think of that before. That's much easier, but there, it's done. So anyway, um, I saw, theme of this list. I saw Poppy for the first and second time this year. I saw her in New York City and I was blown away. I had an amazing time. So I went and bought tickets to see her again in Hartford, Connecticut, 2 nights later, and did not regret it. It was awesome. I got an incredible hoodie for it. Not for it, I bought it, but I got an incredible hoodie. It looks great. I love it. Wear it all the time. And I've just grown such an appreciation for her, her music, her artistry. Everything she does well, and I'm really a big fan. Um, I will forever be looking forward to what she's going to put out. So, enough said. Let's move on to Stand Atlantic with one of the strongest releases of the year. That is going to go here. Oh, oh, I had it right. It's going to go here. It's going to go there. It's called Fear. It's a full length album, and it has 15 songs. And if this had like 13 songs, I think it would probably be the album of the year. Well, maybe the album, but it's not. And we'll get to that. But what an album. Like, Bonnie is an incredible vocalist. She writes great songs. Her and whoever writes the songs, they're insane. Everything's catchy. Everything is so catchy. I absolutely love it. They've grown a lot on me since first hearing Pink Elephant. Sometime in like the beginning of 2021, I heard Pink Elephant, and I've been in love with their music since. I haven't seen them yet, but I will see them soon. 100%. I'm going to see them at some point. I don't know when or where, but it's gonna happen. It's awesome. If you haven't heard this album, Brad, if you haven't heard this album, go listen to it now. It's awesome. It's even better than Pink Elephant, in my opinion. Just the versatility on this album is amazing. There's all kinds of different styles and so much to love. So definitely go out of your way. This one is Strangers by Bring Me the Horizon. This one's going to go here, right there. Perfect. This one grew on me a lot in the last couple of months. I would say if you'd asked me in the summer, or I think it came out in the summer. If you'd asked me like right after it came out, this probably would make it to maybe be on the bottom of the list if it was even going to make it, maybe an honorable mention or something. But I don't know, just time. This song really grew on me. Same thing happened with their song last year. It's funny because last year, Die For You, I think it was last. I think it was number 25. It was down there. I know it was in the bottom like 3. If that was today, that song would probably be top of amazing or bottom of all timers because I love that song now. But that's like a thing with them now. It's like their songs, they're just like steadily really good. Where to the point where you're like, oh man, you underappreciated it first because it's so good. Bravo, Bring Me. You guys are awesome. They can do no wrong right now. It's insane. I wish I could be in a band that was that consistent and just bop 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 everything. Everything's great. It's awesome. I love that band. Uh, our our penultimate release is Architects with The Classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit. I believe that's the name. That's the name. Um, and in my opinion, this is the best album they've ever put out. It's going right there at the top, pretty close to the top of all timers. They first released the single When We Were Young, and that song's awesome. It's amazing. And I was like, oh, cool. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the rest. And they released a few more singles, and every one of them was about the same quality as that. And I got really excited. I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then all of a sudden they dropped it. And every song is awesome. So, easy. Easy. The top 4 on this list were easy. Easy to place. I had them no problem. I had them all placed, no problem. There was a lot of difficulty with the rest of it, but those 4, not a problem at all. Easy peasy. And I just look forward to Architects. I look forward to finally getting to see them. That's another band. I was supposed to see them. Me and a friend of mine were going to go see them. I believe it was November or September, maybe. I think it was September. and they had to cancel because of visa issues. And I was so sad because it was actually Architects and We Came as Romans, so that would have been amazing. That would have been one hell of a tour, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to see them yet. So I'm hoping in next year I get to see them, or this year. Hopefully this year I get to see them. So yeah, okay, and this worked out nicely. But my number one release of the year, without a doubt, there's no questioning, there's no doubt in my mind, it is The Death of Peace of Mind by Bad Omens. And this is a band that is, I never really listened to before this year. I knew one song. I'd heard one song called Careful What You Wish For. And that song, it's a good song, but it literally just sounded like they were trying to be a knockoff Bring Me the Horizon from like Sempiternal. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. But to me, I was just like, that's cool. Whatever. I can't see this being anyone's favorite band by any means or anything. And then a friend of mine, we were talking about music, and he was like, "Oh, I'm really into this, really into Bad Omens right now." And I was like, "Bad Omens, really? All right, I guess." And I checked him out. I'm not usually that judgmental, guys, but I don't know. I just knowing the one song I knew, I was like, "All right, I'll check it out." I first heard the song "Like a Villain," and that is my number one Spotify song of the year. You know, Spotify Wrapped. I played it like 150 times this year or something. But it just, I listened to that album the next day or whatever. Whenever the album came out, I listened to it, and it never ever left my playlists. It was that song. Okay, that album. I always say, too many songs. You got 15 songs. That's too many. This album has 15 songs, and every single song is a banger. Every single one. There's not a skip on that album. It's awesome. And there's so many different styles. It's versatile. It's not just the same thing. Noah Sebastian is a monster vocalist as well. I just saw that Dayseeker show that I saw with Make Them Suffer. The headliner was Bad Omens. So, what a show. And they're every bit as good live as they were on the record. I was blown away. Um, I'm sure you've heard this album by now. Just Pretend has blown up on TikTok. So, it's everywhere. But if you somehow haven't managed to listen to this album yet, you need to. It's essential. It's one of the best albums I've heard in the last, definitely one of the best albums I've heard in the last decade, without a doubt. And I really love it. I love the band now. I'm a big fan, and yeah, it was pretty easy for me. This album was my album of the year the entire year from when I heard it, so it didn't move at all. The closest was Fear, that came kind of close at one point, but nah, it's just not. This not good enough to take it off. Well, let's go through it from 25 to 1 in order. At number 25, we have Bush with Slow Me. At 24, we have A Day to Remember with Miracle. 23 is Seether with Leech. 22 is Make Them Suffer with Doom Switch. 21 is Gray Days with The Phoenix. Number 20 is Motionless in White with Scoring the End of the World. Number 19 is Northlane with Obsidian. Number 18 is Machine Gun Kelly featuring Bring Me the Horizon with Maybe. Number 17 is Red Handed Denial with I'd Rather Be Asleep. Number 16 is We Came as Romans with Dark Bloom. Number 15 is Blink 182 with their single Edging. Number 14 is Poppy with her EP Stagger. Number 13 is Demi Lovato with her full-length album Holy F***. Number 12 is Avril Lavigne with her album Love Sucks. Number 11 is Boston Manor with their single Algorithm, the acoustic version. Number 10 is Bring Me the Horizons with the single Strangers. Number 9 is Spirit Box with their 3-song EP Rotoscope. Number 8 is Boston Manor with their EP Datura. Number 7 is Papa Roach with their full-length album Ego Trip. Number 6 is Metallica with their single Lux Eterna. Number 5 is Ghost with their album Impera. Number 4 is Architects with their album The Classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit. Number 3 is Dayseeker with their album Dark Sun. Number 2 is Stand Atlantic with their album Fear. And number 1, unanimously, is Bad Omens with their album The Death of Peace of Mind. I say unanimously as if there's more than one person. It's just me, but to me it was just the obvious choice, so that's why I say unanimously. Whatever. So anyway, I do want to thank you guys for watching. If you have, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you've made it this far, you might as well. You know, it's a long video, so I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you in the future. So thanks for watching.